Wait, what's happening?
I'm saying thanks to our friend Jennifer Kafka Smith, who created this visual, what does she call it? Visual scrapbook. It is a living testament to this show. I thank her. It makes me happy, and I wanted to show it to you while we introduce the show. What's the matter? What's the matter, Robbie Bear? What's going on?
I don't understand.
What don't you understand?
Our preview is confusing.
Okay, what about it?
It made it look like we were streaming to you our conversation about how terribly we did on the last one.
You know what, you guys? We started off on maybe not even the wrong foot, on no foot this morning.
We had zero feet.
We stepped out of bed, but our feet weren't there, so we fell on our faces. We broke our noses, and we just sort of thrashed about incoherently. We talked about entropy for no reason. We won't get into that again. But it hasn't been the strongest showing so far by the us of us.
Yeah.
So if you want to go...
I just want to say, if your teachers showed up to class like this, you would be allowed to just walk out of class.
Yeah, and you may, if your parents agree that... Oh, good. El Puppy's coming strong with the jokes.
Showing up with the jokes.
Thank you, El Puppy. All right. Wonder Undercover, Chapter 7, Blast Off! Now that is a theme-related joke, because when you are in a rocket and you want to get to space, you need a lot of propulsion. You need a lot of jet fuel to burn fast and hot and shoot you upwards, and that's called blasting off. I'm just explaining the pun that I was using. Hello. Hydrate. Let's drink some water. Robbie, here's your water. I put less water in there for you in a show of respect and deference.
Less than what? That is not less.
No, than I usually give you. Usual. No, I respect myself as well, and so I gave myself less water too.
Jackie Danson, I hope you guys recognize that us drinking water is not just for you to watch. You are also supposed to be drinking your water.
I wish that we had some way of peering,
you see how mad I got?
Not just into your living rooms, but into your hearts, so we could make sure that your hearts were getting nice and hydrated. You don't want a dry heart, you guys. You want a nice and well-hydrated heart. Theme-related music selection. In the last program, I shared with you the album Jetpack by Drew Bunting that has original songs by Brian Francis Slattery, Matthew Swanson, and Drew Bunting, not the least of which is the song Boba Fett that we're going to play for you. Some of you know Mr. Boba Fett from both the Star Wars movies and from The Mandalorian. He is a bounty hunter. He has a complicated backstory that makes him seem more redeemable than you might think from just The Return of the Jedi. Okay, we're going to play this song for you now. It rocks a little bit, so watch out. Stay away from sharp objects because you're probably going to find yourself moving a little bit. Robbie, are you going to play Boba Fett for us?
I am.
Here we go. Get ready, friends. It is about a man who lives in space. His name is Boba Fett. Here we go.
One more time for the world! Boba Fett. Boba Fett. Boba Fett. Jetpack.
Did you hear that? Jetpack. 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 Sarlacc is that creature that eats Boba Fett in Return of the Jedi.
Boba Fett. Jetpack, Sarlacc, Empire Strikes Back. Boba Fett. Boba Fett. Boba Fett. Jetpack, Sarlacc, Empire Strikes Back. Darth Vader wears black. Boba Fett. Boba Fett. Boba Fett. Jetpack, Sarlacc, Empire Strikes Back. Darth Vader wears black.
Rey is from Jakku.
Boba Fett.
Always gets me.
Boba Fett. Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. Ow!
Boba Fett.
Ew!
Boba Fett.
Woo!
Boba Fett. Jetpack.
Oh, Drew, thank you for that fine space-themed song. Uh-oh. I just got a text from Drew
Bunting
telling me to stop dancing. I will not stop dancing. You inspire me, my friend. Your tunes, they just make me need to move as if I were in outer space. I think that was really a compliment from Drew, and I think that's his way of saying, I love you, Matthew.
I know, but you know what else?
Oh.
You did stop dancing when he told you to stop dancing.
That was a coincidence. I stopped dancing because he stopped singing to me.
Waylon
Just
was
saying.
Boba Fett for Halloween.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, we have a Boba Fett joke.
Oh, should we do it right now?
Yes.
Okay.
It's apropos, appropriate.
What is it?
What is Boba's favorite cheese?
Feta cheese.
Yes!
Boba Feta cheese.
Boba Feta.
I like it. I'm sorry. I felt like I had to reach out and grab that one. It was a juicy apple.
It was. It
and
was
I
good.
took a
You
bite out of
did.
that. All right.
All right.
Robbie is.
Moony about Matthew.
That is a theme related thing, but it's
That
on the
was a
agenda.
pun.
So
Matthew and your superior attitude about puns.
no, I have no superior attitude about puns. I just don't like them and think they're a low form of humor. Can you please do what the agenda said? Here I am.
Okay.
What does it mean to be moony about
What
something?
does it mean to be moony?
Robbie is physically incapable. Yeah, there you go. She could only do it in ironic and resentful and grudging
Matthew,
thing.
you're so wonderful.
Thank you, Robbie. Thank you.
That's being moony.
Thank you. You will never see Robbie do that unless I put it on the agenda.
Because I feel like being moony is not
It's
earnest.
not good. No.
Right?
No.
It's-
No. It's just sort of obsequious. I don't think it's not earnest. I don't think people do it insincerely, but usually it is not thought of as it's sort of admiring at a very surface level without a lot of.
Was that true? I don't know if that's true.
All right, you take the agenda. I'm going to look up Mooney. Okay.
Moony.
Yeah.
All right. Robbie's moony about Matthew.
There's also a cult called the Moonies, but that's different.
Very different. Matthew talks about his new book about the moon. Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I think this is what I was getting at.
Yes.
To be moony is to be dreamy, listless, or silly. So it's like it's fawning admiration of something, but it's not based on anything. It's silly. Yeah. So it's not a great thing to be. I'm
right.
sorry I made you
You
be
did
something.
make me be
so
something.
silly. So you guys, I'm writing a book about the moon. It's called. Well, I'm not going to say what it's called, but it takes place on the moon. It's about a boy who's colonizing the moon with his family, but his family gets lost on the moon. He has to go find them, and he encounters all sorts of creatures on the moon. He encounters different ways of being and living. It's funny, but it's also about cultural relativism. It's also about difference. It's about all sorts of things. And I really like it. It makes me laugh. Robbie
All right.
likes it. What?
I love it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Matthew
Yeah.
keeps trying to suggest
Science fiction.
that it is science fiction.
Science fiction. I'm going to prove to you that it's science fiction, Robbie. Tell the friends why you don't think it's science fiction.
I don't think it's science fiction because I believe that science fiction has to be founded in science fact.
No.
No.
No, if it takes place on the moon, it is by default science fiction.
No.
Yes, absolutely. All right.
All of the here's my argument.
I have the definition.
Okay, let's hear the definition.
Let's hear your argument first.
No, let's hear the
No,
definition.
I want to hear your argument.
Well, my argument is that Matthew just makes up a bunch of
Stuff.
machines and creatures,
Yeah.
and none of it. Like this could take place in on the Earth. It just.
No, it couldn't.
Or it could take place in any uncolonized. It doesn't have to be the moon, is what I'm saying. He just chose the moon because everybody knows what the moon is.
It has
But,
to
like,
be in a different
It
world.
doesn't follow any. It doesn't follow any of the rules of the moon.
All right, first definition. Any story that takes place on the moon. All right, there you go. Yes, absolutely. All right.
You are so.
All right, that's not true. A form of fiction that draws imaginatively on scientific knowledge and speculation in its plot, setting, or theme.
Scientific knowledge. That's
It
what I'm talking
draws
about.
on scientific
There is zero
knowledge.
scientific knowledge in it.
It draws on scientific knowledge. It just disregards the details of scientific knowledge.
Okay, so
And
Matthew's-
speculation. It's about speculation.
Yeah, but there's no. Okay. The amount of scientific knowledge in this book is a moon exists that
Which
goes
is true.
around planet Earth.
It's
That
true.
That is all of the.
And that there's just
And
one long day
the-
on the moon.
and
Okay?
The entire rest of Matthew's book is speculation.
And that
It's
there-
not even speculation. It's just made up. Okay, so it can't be science fiction.
Science fiction.
It's just a piece of
I
fiction
can't
that
wait.
takes place on the moon.
I can't wait for the Library of Congress to classify my work as
not science
at the
fiction.
beginning of every book. You guys, where's Wonder Undercover? At the beginning of every book, there are all sorts of. There's this page
Yeah,
full of gobbledygook,
let's see
and
what
it
Wonder-
classifies the book in certain categories.
I want to see what Wonder
And
Undercover
when this
is.
book is published, it is going to be classified as science fiction officially by the Library of Congress, and Robbie will have to eat her words, and I bet they won't taste good.
Okay.
What does it say?
Mystery and detective stories.
There you go.
Brothers and sisters.
Right.
Fiction.
Right.
Detectives. Fiction.
Yeah.
Scouting.
Yeah.
Youth activity.
Yeah.
Fiction.
Yeah.
Twins. Fiction.
Don't you believe that
I
in
can't
this
believe that the Dubliners got into
this
this.
incredibly long list
Schools,
of things,
fiction.
you don't think science fiction is going to be listed in any of those things from my book? I think you're crazy.
I think it might say moon, fiction.
Maybe.
But it's not going to say science fiction because there's no science in it.
We
There
shall
is
see.
zero science
We
in it. It's
shall
just a
see.
location. There's no science.
We're obviously not going to resolve this argument today. Robbie, I urge you to begin the reading of Chapter 7 of The Real McCoys because we want to read it to our friends.
It might
Our
say
friends.
fantasy. It's not going to say science fiction. If
Fantasy.
it does, then the
Interesting.
Library of Congress needs to rethink everything that
Do you
they
see how Robbie is mad at the Library of Congress
Yes.
like years before this is going to become relevant? I love that. Because they're going to side with me because the Library of Congress always
Oh,
does.
we have a librarian here
Okay.
who maybe should weigh in on the science fiction classification.
Yes.
Because I feel it has to include some science, and Matthew's story includes zero science.
I imagine that having not read my manuscript, she's unlikely to take sides in this dispute. However, Robbie, please, can we move on to the great Moxie McCoy, who is indisputably a detective. And this is indisputably a mystery. Fiction, twins. All right? Twins are very important to this particular story. Please, here we go.
All right.
All right.
Now, I'm going to have to push some buttons for you over
Okay.
here to get you started.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, friends.
All right.
Settle in.
Chapter 7.
This is a doozy.
Oxymay, Illyhay, and Emily Way.
Ooh.
Look at that. I'm going with moon fiction. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
We have to wait several years until Matthew's book is actually bought and published, and we'll see what it classifies as. All right. My alarm rings at 5:45 a.m. I leave a note for Dad and head out for Tiddlywump Commons. It's just getting light by the time I reach the edge of the woods. A few minutes later, Emily appears, loyal as a well-thrown boomerang, reliable as a solar-powered calculator on a sunny day. Thank you for coming, I say. I do not say, thank you for coming so that I do not have to be alone in the creepy forest while I identify trees for my arborist badge. No problem, she says. I'm all for enjoying the great outdoors. So, why are we here at this perfectly reasonable hour? I thought it might be fun to identify some trees. Also, my new friend from Hilly, from Wonder Scouts, is coming a little later, and I want you to meet her. She seems okay, but since she is, as you know, a Wonder Scout, I would appreciate a second opinion. Emily smiles. If you like her, I'm sure she's great. As we walk through the woods looking for new trees, I wow Emily by counting to 10 in Bengali. You seem to be enjoying Wonder Scouts. Oh yes, Wonder Scouts is the best, I say as loudly as I can. Then, as quietly as I can, so as not to be overheard in the likely case that my enemies have hidden surveillance microphones in the nearby bushes, I say, I still have deep suspicions, but you are right that not all of them are terrible. How wonderful, says Emily as loudly as she can. Under her breath, she says, what are you so suspicious about? I love your unicorn brooch, I say as loudly as I can. Under my breath, I say, well, not only is Tracy sabotaging Tammy, but also I'm pretty sure that Tammy is doing the same to Tracy. No, I'm afraid so. It's delicious. And what are the good parts of Wonder Scouts? Well, Hilly seems pretty great so far. She goes to school at home. Lucky. I know. And our leader is amazing. She's like a real-life Annabelle Adams. How so? Knowing that Veronica is extremely modest and prefers to keep her tales of daring under wraps, I look around to make sure no one is listening before leaning in close and speaking to Emily in a dramatic whisper. Last night, I learned that she once raised a tiger cub to be her companion, and when it grew up, it guided her through a tiger-infested jungle to a hidden temple where she discovered the long-lost scepter of the seven-headed serpent goddess Histrula, which she donated to a museum because she is not only bold, but also quite generous. Really? Says Emily, as if I had just said in was out and up was down. Which I understand because what I am saying is so extraordinary. Really? Says Emily, who was obviously jealous and suddenly reconsidering whether she should join Wonder Scouts after all. Are you sure you don't want to join? I'm sure, says Emily. The gas is so uncomfortable. Right. I find myself wondering if there might be some sort of medicine that Emily could take. But I do want to hear more about what you're learning, she adds. I'm afraid I can't tell you anything else. Why not? It's all classified. I thought your plan was to expose the Wonder Scout secrets. It is, but I find myself torn between wanting to expose the Wonder Scout secrets and wanting to protect them with my dying breath. Being undercover is so confusing. I can only imagine, says Emily, How about you help me identify some trees? Sounds like a plan. And this is just another reason I love Emily so much, because she's game for anything, even walking through the woods and looking for leaves before the sun is fully awake. When my second alarm goes off at 7:45 a.m., I put on the headband and rhinestone glasses and give Emily a serious look. Remember that for today, I am not the Moxie McCoy you've known and loved all these long weeks. I am Moxie McCoy, Wonder Scout. Got it, says Emily. When Hilly arrives at 8 a.m., I show her the 7 new leaves Emily and I have identified. Holy wow, says Hilly. You taught me everything I know, I say. And then I introduce my best friend to my new friend, realizing as I do how much I hope they'll like each other. I hear you go to school at home, says Emily. This is pretty much the greatest, says Hilly. Jealous, says Emily. So far, so good, I think. While we wander the commons identifying leaves, Hilly teaches us how to speak Pig Latin, which is way less complicated than I feared it would be. Here's how it works. You take the first consonant sound of any word, move it to the end, and add A. So for Moxie, you move the M to the end, and then add A for Oxymay. Well, if I must say, has a magnificent ring to it. And then for Hilly, you move the H to the end and add A for Illyhay, which is pretty great too. And for Emily, because it starts with a vowel sound, you just add way for Emily Way, which is downright spectacular. We spend a long time practicing our Pig Latin, and then Hilly teaches us how to navigate using a map and compass by picking spots in the park and telling us the coordinates. As it turns out, finding hidden treasures by orienteering is also like solving a mystery. It's technically against the rules, but we sneak under the Ample Creek Bridge to eat lunch. Hilly shares her orange soda, and we practice our belching. Why is belching a thing in Wonder Scouts? Asks Hilly. Veronica wants to make sure that each of us gets a chance to see how good it can feel to be unladylike, says Hilly. Emily lets out a fairly epic belch. I see what she means. When we're done eating, we tell one another all the obscure facts we can think of. Hilly is working on her polyglot badge, too, so we drill each other back and forth, but she has trouble remembering the unfamiliar sounds of Mandarin Chinese, Hindi, and Arabic. My dad Jim always says it's way easier to remember things when you put them in a song, says Emily. What do you mean? Asks Hilly. Peanut butter sticky and Mandarin is tricky, I sing at the top of my lungs. Hilly looks at me as if I've lost my mind, but I can tell she also kind of likes it. But we have to learn it, Emily sings, continuing the tune. But then she gets stuck looking for a matching rhyme. Hilly's eyes flash with an idea. There's a badge, I want to earn it, she adds, and we collapse into a pile of giggles. It takes a while, but we come up with a song that gets all the languages in. Does that help? Emily says. I think so, says Hilly. I guess we'll find out. Then we have a few staring contests, but neither Emily nor Hilly can come close to beating me, which makes sense, since neither is familiar with Annabelle's patented deep Arctic stare. No matter how many times I try to show them how it works, they both start giggling the moment I pull it out. I'll never get that badge, says Hilly, laughing to herself, and that's okay with me. Isn't the point to get every badge there is, and as soon as possible, I ask? Nah, the point is to learn stuff and have fun. No one's good at everything. I'm about to tell her that I am, but I decide I don't need to actually say it, because I'm pretty sure Hilly already knows. Also, Veronica told us that the real point is showing what you're good at instead of talking about it. And since I'm pretending to be a Wonder Scout, I decide to pretend I don't need to brag about my endless talents. Time goes fast when I spend it with friends. Suddenly, it's almost dinner time again. I weigh 8 hay away, Ely ray, ice nay a day, I say. Ime ute, says Hilly. Ice nay ute eat me uye, Ily hay.
I'm glad you're
Emily.
reading today, not me.
Es ye it way as way, says Hilly to Emily. Ise uye unde me, says Hilly to me. Uye at bay, I say.
Oh my gosh, you should translate that real quick, all right? Tell everybody what that means.
I weigh at hay. Oh, I had a really nice day, I say. Me too, says Hilly. Nice to meet you, Hilly, says Emily. Yes, it was, says Hilly to Emily. See you on Monday, says Hilly to me. You bet, I say. Phew, that was tricky.
Yeah.
As I walk back home, it occurs to me that at some point through the day, I might have forgotten about being undercover Wonder Scout Moxie and just started acting like Detective Super Genius Moxie instead. I panic for a second, worrying that Hilly might have noticed. When I get home, I want to ask Milton what he thinks, but he is asleep on the couch. Dad says Milton spent the entire day reading the newspaper and yanking on his right earlobe, which is what he often does when trying to puzzle through a problem. Is something going on with him? Asks Dad. You know, he's just... Milton, I say, and Dad gives me a look that says, enough said, I know what you mean. The next morning, I open my bedroom door to find Milton waiting like a sinkhole in the middle of the sidewalk. And instead of saying, good morning, or how did you sleep, or dearest sister, might I offer you some orange juice? He gets right to the matter at hand. In yesterday's morning paper, there was an article about an upcoming exhibit at the local House of History called 100 Years of Wonder, about beloved arts patron Julia Wonder and her legacy of generosity and service to the town of Tiddlywump. Is the exhibit somehow related to the alleged break-in? It very well could be, but we won't know for sure until we interrogate the chief historian. Can I assume you have not yet told him who's boss? Milton slumps. I haven't. Why not? I just couldn't. Why not? He's extremely tall. I shake my head. I want to explain to Milton that true height has nothing to do... true height is nothing but a state of mind. But you could come with me.
Do you want me to take over?
Milton's eyes are pleading. Together we could get him to talk. I'm sorry, but I'm extremely busy with the case of the thwarted badge, I say, hoping to distract Milton into forgetting about the local House of History. It seems to be working. What progress have you made? Well, I'm pretty sure that Tammy is sabotaging Tracy, and that Tracy is sabotaging Tammy. The old double cross? It seems likely. Evidence?
Here, I will go ahead and read for a while. Where are we?
Or
should we stop for now?
Nope.
Okay.
I was trying to tell you something, but that's okay. Okay.
Here, I will read.
No,
and you
just
can
turn the page.
Okay.
I tell him about Tammy's amazing technique and how the meringue absolutely should have worked, and how Veronica checked Tracy's compass and found nothing wrong. Doesn't make any sense, I insist. Milton starts tugging on his ear. I have a theory, he says with a sudden look of triumph. This is exciting. Let me hear it. No, he shouts, stomping his tiny right foot like a scrappy chihuahua, facing off against a massive rhinoceros. I won't help you with your case until you help me with mine. This is progress. Milton is trying to show me who's boss. Annabelle calls what Milton is demanding a quid pro quo, which always makes me think of my favorite deep-fried appetizer, which is just another way of saying, I'll help you if you help me. I'm all for helping Milton with his imaginary case, if it means making progress on my real one. All right, I say. Get your bike. Let's go to the local House of History. Right now? Right now. On the one hand, I need to reward Milton for being such a tough guy. On the other hand, I might be able to pick up some tidbits for my historian badge. And on the third hand, if I had one, I'm itching to let Chief Historian Bernard Buxton know who's actually boss. I'll be right back, says Milton. He then races to his room and reappears a moment later, wearing a toddler-sized tool belt with every loop and pocket overflowing. What is that? My gear. Your gear? Tweezers, duct tape, Swiss Army knife, nylon rope, sunblock, permanent marker, Magnetron 2000, water purification tablets, antelope repellent. Shall I go on? I am equal parts jealous and proud. As I stand there at a loss for words, Milton finds some for me. A chief mysterian must always be prepared. I marvel at my star pupil. It seems he has been paying attention.
All right.
Oh, that was it.
Good work, Robbie. Thank you for taking us through.
What time is it?
We have 3 minutes
We
left,
have
according
3
to
minutes,
Abby.
okay.
And I think we should turn promptly to El Puppy's jokes. She got us all
good.
queued
All
up.
right, all right.
Yes.
El Puppy had a whole bunch of jokes. All right. Oh, look at this. We have some library classification. Fantasy, adventure, and adventures. Okay, see, there's lots of subjects. Outer space, exploration, comic book strips, etc. Outer space, exploration. Juvenile fiction. Space flight. Comic book strips, etc. So, see, adventure stories, graphic novels. So it would be listed under outer space or space travel - fiction.
/ science fiction.
Not
Yes.
science
I can't wait
fiction.
for it to say science fiction. All right, we'll see. Robbie, we're not the ones going to decide.
That's
so trying
true.
to figure this out now,
But
futile,
I would
pointless.
I would like you to stop telling people that it's science fiction.
I can only say what I believe in my heart.
It's fiction that is based in space.
You are cutting into El Puppy's joke time. All right?
What
do we
kind
have?
of shoes do all spies wear?
Sneakers.
Oh, very good.
There
You
you
got
go.
that one like nobody's
All right,
business.
good.
What do you call two guys hanging on a curtain?
Two guys hanging on a curtain. Rod.
Well, that's one of them.
Rod and ring.
No.
Curtain, rod, and...
Oh, you just said it.
And? Rod and ring?
You just said it, and you didn't even know you said it.
What did I say?
Curtain rod.
Oh, Kurt and Rod.
Rod.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
What kind of shoes? Oh, we did that one. Why did the egg get thrown out of class?
Why did the egg get thrown out of class? Because
think
he
I'll
cracked.
probably-
Because he cracked up. He started cracking up.
Oh, no.
No?
I think El Puppy feels this one in her heart.
Because it was part of the Robbie fan club.
No.
Oh. Because I don't know what.
Because he kept telling yolks.
Oh. Why? Now, what do you mean she feels that in her heart? I don't.
Because she keeps telling yolks.
Because she's our joke master.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
he kept telling
We've
yokes.
never thrown you out, though.
No, we applaud you, El Puppy.
All right. Oh, these are repeats. I thought that okay, what did the squash... This is from Simon. What did the squash say about the watermelon?
What did the squash say about the watermelon? That it was bigger and greener than it was? That it was that it was all wet? That it was seedy? That it was seedy? It came
Yeah,
from
looks like kind of a seedy character.
seedy character. There you
You know
go.
what? I think there was I read somewhere the statistics of seedless watermelons versus seeded watermelons.
Yeah, what
and
about 'em?
The range since like 1985 or something that now they're all seedless.
We can't handle seeds anymore.
Yeah,
like
we've
we're
gotten
it's
so
just
delicate,
too
we
hard to deal
can't
with
deal with
seeds.
seeds.
Yeah. All right.
What happened? This one's from Simon. What happened to the wheel after he got too old to work?
Too old to work. The wheel.
Uh-huh.
He was tired. He retired.
Yes,
he
very
retired.
good,
Okay.
very good.
All right. Are we good?
I think that's it.
I
think
sent
that's it.
you. Oh, it's 2:00. All right.
Yeah.
Robbie, I sent you about 10 space jokes that I pulled off the internet.
Oh yeah, I printed them out.
for a different day. For a different day.
Look, guys, look. There's so many of
And
them.
I didn't look at any of them. I just saw that they were space jokes. I cut and pasted them. So we have a reserve of space jokes that we will draw upon as we go forward.
I
All
trust
right?
that our fine listeners will also come up with some space jokes.
All right.
All
Friends, it has been our pleasure. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
We're going to try our best to get a good night's sleep tonight. Be a little
Gotta
less
pull it
decombobulated
together
tomorrow. All right.
Oh,
All right.
man.
All right. Yes.
I feel like we should say something meaningful at the end of this.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
The astronauts are up there. They're
Yep.
hanging out with the cosmonauts.
Yep.
They're doing some science.
Yep.
Somebody should write some fiction about it. And that's all. It's time to go.
But don't call it science fiction. Actually, you could call it science fiction, maybe, because that spaceship...
How much science would I have to add for you to feel good? If I added a science fact?
There's zero science in it. Zero. There's zero science.
My people wear moon helmets, which you would have to do. That's probably scientifically
Do you
appropriate.
know how a moon helmet is made, or do you have any idea of how a moon
I don't
helmet
need to
might
know
be
how a
made?
moon helmet is
That
made.
would be the science behind the science fiction.
The fact that they can't breathe the atmosphere. They need the moon
Yes,
helmet.
and science fiction would come up with a scientifically plausible solution.
Can you see how angry Robbie is about this book? She claims to like this book, but she's such
I love
she's
this
such a
book.
detractor. Yeah.
I love the book.
All right. Farewell, friends. We will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll write a story together. We'll get started on... I was supposed to ask them for ideas for the story today. All right, I'm just going to have to write it myself.
About space.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to do it. All right, friends. Bye.
I can't find the button.
We can't leave you because we don't know where the button is.
There it is.
Isn't that just the perfect emblem
what
of
today
today?
is all about.
All right, guys.
Goodbye,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you for joining us. We will see you tomorrow, and tomorrow we will be in better shape.
Who knows? We're going to try.
We are going to
We
try
can't promise.
to be in better shape.
We're just going to
and
try.
we're going to upgrade our Zooms, and our day will be better just by default. Woo!
Monkey buttons.
Monkey buttons.
I'm going to dance all day tomorrow, Drew. All day.